Welcome. You're listening to the calming sounds of the Tidepool Orchestra. Side A.
So check this out. Somebody actually made a Tidepool Orchestra video game. Oh right! Welcome back, guys. Exciting news. There's a Tidepool Orchestra video game.
We're fucking video game characters. Holy shit. We're fucking video game characters. Holy shit.
Mike, I get you're excited, but clearly there was a better way to phrase that. Now it just seems like you have a waifu.
We are video game characters. This is like Reboot. When Brian told us that we were going to be part of a video game, that we're going to be basically living video game characters, just thought of the first reference I could think of. Reboot. Living sprites.
Yes, it's like Reboot.
Are we rebooting the reboot?
Oh god, I hope so.
Can I be Megabyte?
Yes.
I'll be Gigabyte.
I will be hexadecimal.
You fucker.
This is all fitting.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to read this text?
Fine. Prototype demo V1.0 Tidepool Orchestra RPG. Subtitle to be determined. TBD. This is an example of what can be accomplished after drinking copious amounts of alcohol. This demo was made using mostly royalty-free prefab items that came with the game engine. I bought this engine while drunk and decided to put it to good use. The general plot can be found by talking to NPCs in this prototype demo. Graphics, sound, and story are subject to change. If this is a project you would like to see completed, you can shoot me a message through Discord or Brian can contact me through Facebook Messenger. If not interested, doesn't matter either way. Hope you enjoyed the demo.
That sound you just heard was my Facebook notification sound. It goes off occasionally. I don't know how to stop it. Please, if you know a way to stop it, please let me know. It annoys me too. Hang on.
Yes?
I just I just got a Facebook message, but I can't check that because we're recording.
Okay.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna hit stop.
It's actually really impressive of Oogie Boogie to be able to make this. Very interested into what kind of engine he's actually using. I used OHR once upon a time, long time ago, but wasn't any good at it. But I'm pretty impressed with this.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say out loud, the person who was messaging me is actually the person who made this game, and I guess who is currently making this game. And that would be at Oogie Boogie on the fan Discord. So there's going to be a link to the fan Discord down below. Please feel free to join. Yeah, as long as you obey the rules and everything, it should be fine. You guys have anything else to note before we start playing?
Not really.
I really like the Tidepool Orchestra RPG text. It makes this look like a horror game.
I love Subtitle TBD, and I hope that remains a subtitle throughout.
Oh, that has to be the subtitle. Like, even of the finished product.
No changes, yeah.
It encompasses Tidepool Orchestra so perfectly.
Okay, so new game. Now loading. Tidepool Orchestra Studios, October 9th, 2025. Okay, so the text is a little bit hard to read. Yeah, so, I mean...
He's pretty optimistic.
Fucking right. This channel's gonna shut down next year. Who wants to be narrator?
All these bright, happy lights. When do we get a building? I want this building now. That's awesome. No more broadcasting for the Tidepool Orchestra.
Okay, you guys hear that? We have 6 years.
Cool. It's going to be a good 6 years.
Oh, that's not a narrator. That's an antagonist.
Yeah, keep the same voice. I don't care.
Perfect. The power is down. The internet is down.
You sound like an anime cool guy.
Time to break them up, or break up the team.
I think either of those would have been fine.
Yeah. Summon skeleton.
I love this voice.
That's spooky.
I better get the fuck out of here before someone spots me.
I think it's $$, $ampersand.
I was gonna say I wasn't sure how to pronounce that, so thanks, Mike.
No problem.
Oh, spoopy.
I'm just happy we record for another 7 years.
6.
6.
It's almost 7. This is November.
Mike, I think
Wait,
you should continue.
Who is
here.
this?
You read this one.
But I'm pretty sure that these are assigned characters.
Yeah, you read this one, Mike.
Okay. What's taking Noah so long? He only needed to flip the main breaker to get everything back online.
If you're in such a hurry, why don't you go downstairs and help him, Mike? It's like you can trust me when I say something, Mike, or you could just keep questioning it.
Brian already knew which character is which.
Okay. I got this far, exactly this far. I needed to test out to make sure the file would work on my computer. I got this far, no further.
There's no way he didn't know which character was which.
I don't have blue hair, but that guy's really attractive, so I'll take it. I don't even question it, I just go.
That was harsh, I better go help them. Okay, so here are the controls. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, controls. So if we look, there are 2 desks, but one desk is housing a laptop and a desktop facing the opposite way, implying that 2 people work off one table and one person works off another. Whose is whose?
Alright, you guys ready for the speedrun?
Yeah?
That's as far as it got, no further. You guys ready for the speedrun? God, I'm just a comedic fucking genius.
I'm not interested in speedrunning. What I'm interested in is how many A presses it takes.
We need to beat this game with 0.5x A presses. I should bring a weapon before heading after them. Better check inside the locker.
Why do we have weapons in our locker?
You don't? That was a weapons at school joke.
Do you guys, one of you guys want to be narrator?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got your plastic replica blade from locker.
From locker. Okay, equipping gear. First press escape, navigate to equipment, and select the slot for that piece of gear. This is... I'm gonna be honest, this is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be.
It's an RPG, dude. What do you expect?
Level 1.
I wonder what the battle's gonna be like. I wonder if it's gonna be like semi-real time, like Parasite Eve, or if it's gonna be tactical turn-based, like Final Fantasy Tactics. Or is it gonna be stand in the line? Yeah, stand in the line and take turns swinging.
It's a good idea to bring your brain with you everywhere you go. True.
Oh,
Oops.
Oops. You might encounter puzzles like this one, and the brain is a handy tool. Okay, I didn't read all of that. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, this is gonna be like Breath of Fire. So Breath of Fire was a like Final Fantasy style RPG by Capcom. First came out on the Super Nintendo, didn't really get good in my opinion until the PlayStation. It's one of the few RPGs in that style, one of the few JRPGs that'll actually go out of my way to play and get really far.
Forgot to bring your brain? Oh, shit.
Yes.
Wait.
It just skips the puzzle for you.
Oh.
Oh, no! That's not what I wanted to do.
Please take out the puzzle skip before releasing any sort of beta. Because, I mean, as good as that is in a demo, if you can't solve a sliding Bach puzzle, that's a weakness, and weakness should not be tolerated.
That's fucking boring.
I figured forget to bring your brain would have been like getting a hint for how to solve the puzzle.
Or like...
Yeah, that's
you
like
back
the
to
biggest
start.
hint I can think
Oh,
of.
shit.
Whoa.
A skeleton? Are you $% carroting serious?
What was that last one? Carroting? Weird flex, but okay. To a skeleton, all flexes are weird.
Oh shit, you're right.
You see, that's funny because in order to flex, you need muscles, and skeletons do not have muscles.
Hey, I think that's Noah.
Hey, you stole my line!
So this is kind of funny. The line "weird flex but okay" is attributed to Noah, but if you actually go back to the Tidepool Orchestra, I think it was episode 12, the Super Smash Brothers one, I'm actually the one who said weird flex okay to him. Weird flex but okay. But now it's Noah's thing, so that's cool.
Okay. Cool, I get to test out the battle engine.
Let's just do this and test the battle engine already. At this point, the developer was tired and needed some rest before work. What? So he showcased the battle engine and called it a decent prototype demo proposal. Prepare for battle. Wait, is this the entire demo?
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's Brian. What skills do you have?
Hang on, is Mike in a cage?
Hello.
Smack.
Despite all my rage.
Oh. I did 6. I have no skills. Hey, accurate! Skeleton is not doing any damage to me?
He's probably not programmed to do damage.
Oh. But I'm programmed to miss, that's alright. 12.
Ooh, shit, you got a crit.
He programmed crits in here.
It was at this moment, while I was playing and finding a skeleton, that a thought occurred. What if I lose? How much HP this guy got?
All of it.
Did you bring your bone hurting juice?
Dude, this one time I was trying to fight a skeleton in real life, and all I had was like milk, and I tried to throw it at him, and it just made him stronger.
I was about to make that joke. Go fuck yourself.
Sometimes it be like that, though.
Sometimes it do. This guy got like 100 HP or something. So how are you guys?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. Fighting a skeleton.
I'm alright. I'm eating a Pop-Tart.
When Brian was fighting that skeleton, was saying that he was hoping the skeleton was going to die, I thought it was a little bit weird, because skeletons are already dead. They can't really die. But boy, was I proved wrong.
Nice. Poison Fang! It did a damage!
Oh.
And I'm poisoned! It's doing chip damage!
Oh, this is like Darkest Dungeon, where like most of the damage is made up of DOT, damage over time.
No, this is nothing like Darkest Dungeon. This is actually good.
Oh.
Suck blood? How? It had no lungs. It had no throat.
So, Mike, you want to talk about Darkest Dungeon while we're getting through this fight?
I haven't played Darkest Dungeon since the year it was released, like shortly after it was released, and I don't know how it is now, but I remember played it then. It was fucking garbage.
Because it's a Kickstarter game, I've heard it changed a lot since it's released. I didn't even discover it until last year, and it's one of my favorite RPGs.
I will give it a look-see.
Okay, I can't tell if the skeleton is dying or not, but I sure am.
I love that we're laughing at the skeleton doing no damage, and now Brian's on his deathbed.
Yeah, Brian died. Or he's about to die.
Okay.
Oh, shit! According to my math, which might be wrong, dude had 97 HP to Brian's 40. OP as fuck.
Now, are you going to take poison
You
damage?
got 100
afterwards?
greenbacks and 100 exp.
You guys are both in cages. What the fuck?
Despite all our rage.
I love this little chibi art style. It's great. Also, whoever made the rooftop out of bricks is pretty talented. If you made it this far, you've completed the prototype. Congratulations, show off! Enjoy the fact that I did not set up an end game method, so this is just a dead end room.
And you're poisoned.
Can I talk to... No?
Hi, I'm in a cage. Hello, I have a big cage. Why is my cage so much bigger than Noah's?
I like
I have
the
more power to
confinement.
contain. Is this seriously a dead end room?
I enjoy my bug box.
How big? What the fuck?
Did it just... Oh.
Oh, it's just... This is just it. This is the game.
So you're still poisoned, but you're not taking any damage. So that means that poison only counts combat rounds. It doesn't count
You have 1
time or
HP.
steps. Oh wait. Oh no, it dealt more damage. You ended the battle at like 5 HP, so it damaged you down to 1. I don't think poison will kill you though. Sorry, I'm very analytical when I look at like game mechanics.
I have an offensive t-shirt.
To this minute, I still don't know what Brian's offensive t-shirt said. Here's my question. It says 10 out of 28 MP. So, what did you use that used up MP? Or did you just start at 10?
No, he started at 10, but he leveled up twice.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
an ordinary young man who lives in the village, longing to become an adventurer, he trained hard with the sword.
Sword.
Yeah, that sounds
Sword.
like you.
Save?
While you were spending all your time stuck in the cage, I studied the blade.
The Ballade.
The blade.
Yeah. I have 100 greenbacks! Naturally, after learning I had $100, the first thought that came into my head was, we have to go spend it on lottery tickets.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
So I don't think I could do anything else.
Also, guys, we have a headquarters.
Yeah, well, we do in 5 years from now. Or
I'm
six,
cool with
6
that.
years from now. It's not even like a suicide option to jump into the purple abyss?
6 minutes. 6 minutes from the time that we reached the rooftop is when it took Brian to make a joke about suicide.
Alright, Oogie Boogie, you gotta program suicide.
Yeah, there should be a suicide button, obviously.
It's just a dedicated button, don't press it on accident.
Close. This is it. Alright, guys, thank you for joining us for this crazy Tidepool adventure. I'm not really sure what else to put here.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Love you.
Here's the 5 more years before we get shut down by a necromancer.
6 more years.
Oh yeah, and then we get
6
shut
more
down by a
years.
necromancer.
Alright.
I'm gonna die with poison. Alright, bye. I mean, after all that, I think the one thing on everybody's mind was, what about that puzzle? Hey guys, so there wasn't a whole lot to do, so I think we're gonna try the puzzle. So when we went up to this, it said forgot to bring your brain, and we're gonna hit no this time.
It just doesn't teleport us.
Yeah, that's just the teleport button.
Okay, this puzzle.
Brian, use strength.
Yeah. I like the wood crates.
I think this means we have to commission actual anime sprites of ourselves.
I mean, I think we have them.
I don't have blue hair.
Yeah, you do. In 6 years, you'll have blue hair.
Will I also be thin and tall?
Who knows?
My stepsister used to draw a lot of anime. I might be able to talk.
I thought you were gonna be like, my stepdad used to beat me.
Hey, same. The joke is I don't have a stepdad.
Yeah.
Not yet, but in 6 years' time.
Don't know about that.
Okay, so yeah, those are the cages, and that's the skeleton. And it's at this point that I don't fucking know what to do now. A skeleton! Alright, so we have now explored every single part of the demo.
Okay.
Alright, did you talk to the computers in the office?
I tried. The chairs are in the way.
Oh no. Also, why are there only 2 computers if there are 3 of us? Who's slacking?
Me. I'm slacking. I don't have a computer, remember?
No, but there's a desk with a laptop on it, so I figured that's you.
Oh, shit. He thought of everything.
Brian has a separate office that it's just everything is stacked on the wall.
I like Noah's art style. This actually seems like something Noah would wear, I think.
Maybe back in high school.
Yeah, maybe. I like the skeleton's cloak and how it just stops.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is supposed so spooky. Please don't play this again.
Oh, too spoop. I scared.
No skills. Alright, so that's everything in the game. We will let you know if there's anything else later on. Alright. Bye again.
Okay. Bye again.
Bye again.
End of side A. Please continue on side B.
So I found out on Facebook you could do this thing with a with a pineapple. Nick, you want to try it? And you don't even need to slice it. It's crazy. What are you pouring, Nick?
It's pink.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pink.
A Gretsuko Liquid Rage. How is it?
It's similar to like a mix of grapefruit and grape, I guess.
Your eyes are so red right now. It's kind of amazing.
I think that's from the camera. I can see the rainbow surrounding the flash.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Cool. Good job.
Welcome back. You're listening to the calming sounds of the Tidepool Orchestra. Side B.
Word. Okay, so I guess the first thing. Hi Noah.
Hello.
Two things to start off with right off the bat. Number one, you guys just watched the Tidepool Orchestra RPG that was made by Oogie Boogie, and you can talk to him on the fan Discord, links down below, etc., etc. Number two, Mike is sick, can't be here for side B. That's okay, right?
And welcome
And welcome. Oh my god.
back to side B.
Back to welcome back to the video that you were already watching. I'm gonna drink some rum.
I mean, it's kind of the start of the podcast, even though it's not side A, because side A was a playthrough.
Yeah, side A was a playthrough. Because side A, I think, kind of blindsided all of us with what was happening. Just like, I don't know, I got a private message from my cousin, and he's like, hey, I'm making a video game. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you're the main character. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
How's my video looking? You're looking kind of choppy on my end. I just want to make sure my Wi-Fi's okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I see you better now.
okay. I don't know, my internet's been buggy all day.
Okay. That's good as long as my video going into smooth enough for webcam.
Yeah, it's fine. What did you do this week, Noah?
Well, I mean, you had asked last week what we all did, and then Mike answered and then skipped over me. I had a much more eventful week last week.
That's fair. Let's go for it.
So can I start from last week?
You can start wherever you'd like, man. We could talk about the dinosaurs.
We could talk about the dinosaurs, but that was before my time, unfortunately. So basically, I've never had my birth certificate this whole entire time I've been an adult, which has been for a decade now, as of Saturday.
Question.
Yes.
How? Why? What?
What?
How? Why? What? How do you not have a birth certificate?
So when I moved out of my dad's house about a decade ago, it'll be a decade in October. He had given me what we thought was my birth certificate, and it was actually just a copy. It wasn't even an official copy, so it wasn't embossed or anything. I don't know how I even got a job or a driver's license with it, but I did. And so my driver's license was set to expire on my birthday on Saturday, this Saturday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. It's early, but yes, thank you.
Well, by the time this video comes out, it will be tomorrow from the day. Happy birthday.
My driver's license was set to expire on Saturday, and I tried applying at the DMV for the federal real ID so that way I could fly a plane if I wanted to, assuming I'm not on the no-fly list.
Right.
And I went ahead and tried to apply at the DMV probably a month and a half ago, and the guy at the counter was just like, "Oh yeah, sorry, no, this isn't a real birth certificate. Like, it's a copy of one, but it's not embossed. You need the actual birth certificate." So I'm like, "Well, shit." So I talked to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, you got to help me. Apparently, what you gave me was a copy. It's not an official birth certificate. So I need you to like search everywhere." And this is probably like on a Thursday when I contacted him. He said, "Okay, I'll search all this weekend," and he didn't find it by Sunday. So
It is what it is.
I just went ahead and I tried applying for it because I had to I had to apply in Stockton to get my birth certificate because I was born around there.
Terrible place,
And,
Stockton.
oh, it's horrible. It's like the murder capital of California.
It really is.
It's one of the murder capitals of America, the United States of America. I think it's probably second to Detroit and maybe Chicago.
Yeah.
But Stockton is a shithole. It's a horrible place.
It's absolutely the worst.
I avoid going to Stockton if I can.
Same.
And at any rate, I went ahead and called the county clerk recorder. They're like, "Oh yeah, you just go to the third-party website, pay them a fee, and they'll be able to send you a new birth certificate." So I did that, and after I paid them the fee to process it, they told me, "Oh, by the way, we're going to need you to go ahead and fill out this form and attach a copy of your current ID and enlarge it by 3 times and brighten it by a factor of 10 and have a notary sign it." I'm like, this is you don't expect the average person to have access to Scanner and Photoshop, and especially if they've lived without a good computer for the past several years. So I kind of slacked on it. I just drank a lot and got depressed. And every time I had a day off, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll do it today." No, I didn't do it. So I went ahead and made a trip down to Stockton on Wednesday of last week and just got my birth certificate. Day afterwards, I went to DMV and got my ID, or filled out for my ID, and I got it today. So
Nice.
I managed to avoid an expired ID by 2 days, or expired driver's license by 2 days.
And side note, we now know officially that you were at one point born. So
I was born at one point. I wasn't built like a robot, as some people might suspect.
I had my suspicions. Yes. Cool.
Yeah. I also went to the gym for like the first time in several months.
Nice.
So that's good. What do you think is wrong with Mike?
Well, my mind immediately jumped to a thing I'm not allowed to say on camera, so that's fun. I think he has the flu. I think he is sick and throwing up. I think maybe he needs a lot of bed rest.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. He does this occasionally where he almost dies and then he comes back to life like a cat. One day his 9 lives will be up, but until then, I have faith he will still be alive.
I really hope he'll still be alive. If I was over on the East Coast, I'd probably tuck my homie in and give him a kiss goodnight.
As for my week today, earlier, because this part is being recorded on Thursday for the last 7 minutes and 47 seconds, but basically what I did was I just tried to do various video games. I recorded a couple of episodes of Paper Mario with Patrick because I named one of the characters after him, little Yoshi guy. So there's going to come out soon. I streamed Minecraft for like an hour and a half, and I'm trying to break it up into 15-minute segments, but I think that's a lost cause. OBS was just screwing up during that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I was done with that, me and Zia just listened to Be More Chill, which is a Broadway musical. So, you know, pretty, pardon the pun, chill time.
Oh, I thought you were just telling everybody to just be more chill and just hang out in voice chat. I thought you just suddenly became really, really groovy and cool.
No, I would never become cool, Noah. I would warn you ahead of time if that were to happen.
Yeah, I'd have to shun you and yeah. So I've mainly been trying to find new DOS games to play with you guys. I found a DOS game called ARG.
Arg. Yeah, we're having a
ARG
lot of trouble recording video gameplay lately.
with me in particular
With
because I'm
you,
very, very, very green.
Green. Yeah, new. He's not
Yeah.
eco-friendly, folks. He's new. He will sometimes just take a handful of plastic straws and throw them into the river.
I'm a libertarian. It's what we do.
Yeah. It's how we make sure that work towards a better future by making it more, what's the word?
Free.
No. Immediately necessary.
If you don't throw your car batteries into the ocean, the communists win.
If you don't throw your car batteries into the ocean, then you're not really doing your part.
You're not an American.
It's true. The Shane Dawson thing? I don't know.
Yeah, no, let's talk about Shane Dawson thing.
Okay.
The whole apparently he screwed his cat.
Apparently. No. His tweet very specifically said that he never fucked his cat, and he never came on his cat, and he never put his dick anywhere near the cat. And after the video he put out last year, he felt like he would never have to apologize for this again. However, and then it's like part 1 of question mark.
So my question here, because what I had always heard, or what I not had always heard, but what I heard was that it was an autocorrect error in that it had to do with his car, and he said something about pumping his gas, and it autocorrected to hump his cat, and that's what it turned into that.
1 second. One second.
Brian. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
That was a few more than 1 second, so I'm sorry.
It's okay, I started singing.
Did you? What were? Okay, I'll find out later. I was grabbing a beer. So, unfortunately, with the current setup I have to record right now, I'm gonna have to do this all based on memory. But luckily, I'm autistic, so that shouldn't be a problem.
I think all three of us are.
I've
'Cause
spilled
Mike-
beer on myself.
Because Mike's actually officially autistic to my knowledge, but I think you and I might be high functioning, like Asperger's.
Probably.
Yeah.
So what had happened was, in a podcast recorded back in 2011 or 2012, Shane Dawson, this was about 10 years ago, so this may have been as early as 2009, he was still doing his, like, crass humor. I don't know
Like
if
where he did blackface at one point.
Yeah, he did blackface at one point. He did all sort of shock humor to try to gain a fan base and audience, and then in recent years, only in like the past 2 years, he's been changing it up to like emotional documentaries. He has like a loving boyfriend, then they're gonna get married, and they have a cat and like 2 dogs. So only recently has he come to terms with who he is as a person and trying to become more wholesome and honest with everybody. But what had happened was, back in the podcast you did in like 2009, 2010, whatever, he made a joke saying that he was doing sexually explicit things with a cat.
Oh.
Yeah. So
now I understand where people drew that line.
Yeah. So he made it as a joke. It was in an old podcast of his back when he was doing, I think, like food videos on YouTube. He would put clips of the podcast at the beginning of the videos to try to get people to listen in. But not only was that a fictional thing that he was talking about, but somebody dragged it up like last week and put it out on the air for everybody to find, and then it got spread around like crazy. So when Shane puts in his tweet that became a sort of like a meme, saying like, I think the thing he said was, I made a video explaining this last year and I didn't feel like I would have to make another apology video. The video that he made like last year, which he later linked on his Twitter page, was a video explaining, hey, I did a lot of bad things in the past. It was all like shock humor to try to get people's attention. I am a different person now and I really regret doing that. I can never change the past. I can only look forward with the future. So, like, the more knowledge you know about Shane Dawson and his history, the less funny the mimetic tweet becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the 1 out of question mark. Like, they were immediately followed by 2 out of question mark. I think the total was 7 tweets that were explaining everything. Just the first one was so completely batshit that people latched onto it and didn't actually read any of the others. So I guess the question is, with that in mind, do you think he had sex with this cat? And I think no.
The way his tweet sets it up, it makes it sound like he's in blatant denial, which is usually a sign that somebody did it. But no. And
Fair.
thank you for taking the humor out of that meme from me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wanted to explain it to you, and this is the 3rd or 4th person I've explained it to. In fact, I posted the tweet on Facebook with no context, and somebody, I think it was Ophelia, I think you know her.
Orphea?
Orphea? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where'd I get the name Ophelia from?
Probably because Orphea sounds like it sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah.
But Ophelia is, more of a classically not made-up name. But
I don't know.
sorry, I digress. But yeah, I know Orphea. I've been Facebook friends with her for a while.
It was either Orphea or Andrea. Somebody immediately jumped on it and said, well, hang on, did you read the rest of the tweets? I don't know how much you know about Shane Dawson. And I had to, like, kind of open up my closet door, and just, like, all of the Shane Dawson memorabilia, like, fell out since I've been following him since his blackface days. Just watching him progress, like watching a 10-year-long car crash. So I explained, yeah, I know literally everything about what's happening. I just think it's funnier to post this without context. Like this after the recycled pizza thing with Chuck E. Cheese, which became so crazy huge and popular that all the vloggers were posting their own like Chuck E. Cheese experiences. People saying like, oh, I got a job at Chuck E. Cheese's and I could prove for a fact, but then that turned out to be completely fictitious. And then not only that, but because it spread so wildly and so quickly, YouTube actually started banning the word conspiracy from like video titles.
I heard about that because I was actually watching videos on pizza thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was other people that were taking a third stance on it, just going like, whether or not it's true, Shane Dawson's just kind of ruining everything just by even bringing it up. Because like, Chuck E. Cheese might not be recycling their pizza; it might actually just be cut weird because of the way they take it out of the oven, and now he is ruining their business. And
to an insane degree.
And this is probably a 20-minute long video that was just talking about this, and she censored conspiracy. Like she had the word conspiracy written, but she would censor herself from saying it out loud.
Yeah, that's the exact video that actually brought it all to my attention too, because like the Shane Dawson video just said like conspiracy theories and didn't have like a thumbnail with pizza or anything, so I didn't entirely know what it was about. I just knew it was an hour and 10 minutes long, so I kind of like skipped it, and I just kind of saw the fallout happening after the fact. But yeah, that girl, do you happen to know her name?
I don't.
Fuck, me neither, and I can't check it right now because of the way my recording shit is set. But yeah, that's...
having some trouble there with the carbonation?
I think it might be psychosomatic because I've been burping whether or not I'm drinking for the last, like, I don't... It's entirely on with my mind and body, but that's fine.
Yeah. So, I've been trying to find new games to play. The games that I want to play, either we just haven't gotten around to recording them, or the other games that I want to play really would not make good YouTube-friendly games just because they're long and intensive. For example, I just reinstalled the first Fallout on my computer, and I would love to share that with you guys, but it is not radio-friendly at all. Like, I could play for fucking like 20 minutes and get through maybe one battle.
Oh, that one, yeah. And then, like, so I'm doing the Paper Mario thing, but that is just a long burn. Especially when you try to break it up for like 15-minute long episodes on YouTube. It is dragging right now. It is in the middle of the most boring segment.
Yeah.
Video games.
Video games. I still don't know how Armored Core would turn out. I tried recording that with you guys, but the video didn't even process.
Armored Core seemed really fun.
It's a great game series. I played it starting with Armored Core 2 on the PlayStation 2. Actually, no. I actually played the original Armored Core 1 first, back in the PlayStation 1's heyday. I played it back. We had a demo on it, on a demo disc for our PlayStation. And then after I'd played 2 and 3, probably, I want to say probably like 2010, I had went ahead and bought the first one for PlayStation 1. And that game... Go ahead, sorry.
The demo disc, was that a jam pack?
I don't know if it's called a jam pack. I think it was an official PlayStation demo disc that came with the system. It had like Crash Bandicoot 2, and it had Jersey Devil. It had Tomba.
I just remember back when like the PlayStation 1 was out, like you could buy a demo disc for $5 at the game store. That's what my little brother would do.
That's a good idea. Like before the days of well, I shouldn't even say that on the air. But basically before the days where you could try anything before you wanted to buy it. Before those days, getting a demo disc for $5 isn't a bad idea because they're going to have some of the best games on there, and you get to try out, a small demo of the games and see what you actually like before you go and drop $20 on a new game, 20, 30, $40 on a new game.
Yeah. We didn't really have like allowances or anything like that. So back then it was like, hey, we're at the store, you guys can each pick something for $5. And he's like, oh, well, I guess this. And I got Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I'll get Medal of Honor Underground for PlayStation 1. Oh, that was the worst purchase I had ever gotten. That was just awful. It was unplayable. It was like a Doom clone PlayStation 1. It was muddier than shit. And it was awful. Like some games are muddy in good ways. Like the first Quake. First Quake is very, very muddy, very muted colors. It works with the game. It's very Lovecraftian. Trent Reznor did all of the music and sound effects. And it just works. But that is a World War II era first-person shooter. Like, muted colors a little bit, yeah, it's okay. But that was just dark and disappointing.
Dark and disappointing sounds like the name of my first sex tape. Anyway.
So how's Brian been?
Funny joke. How's Brian been?
Yeah. What did you do this last week?
So it's been a weird like heat wave sort of thing. We jumped up in Oregon right now from the temperature of around like mid to high 50s all the way up to 77 degrees yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody at work, because I work at a fucking gas station all my life, everybody at work is asking if we have hot dogs, and we don't. But it made me crave hot dogs. So yesterday I decided, hey, I have the day off. I'm going to go visit family. And I'm going to buy a shit ton of like hot dogs and like a pineapple. Well, you guys saw the footage for the pineapple. So that was earlier in this video.
Yeah, you called it a watermelon.
I called it a watermelon. Because I also bought a watermelon and I was already drinking. This is like one of the last Bud Light oranges I have left. I think my mom and stepdad each had one out of the 24 pack, and I have 2 left, so I have basically been binge drinking for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
Probably not. Probably not.
I got an 18-pack of PBR maybe about 4 days ago, and I still got about 6 of them left.
Must be nice not being an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
save money.
Well, you save money by buying PBR because when you buy an 18-pack for $13, comes
Yeah.
out to like 60 cents a beer. It's nothing. It's change in the bucket.
PBR is very cheap. That's why I normally go with Bud Light, is because it's like the third cheapest.
But you see, the thing is like if you're gonna go with piss water, you might as well go with the tolerable one that's still really cheap. And I can't do Bud Light. I can't do Bud Light. I can't do Miller.
I think it's definitely comes to taste. Like, it depends on what kind of piss you like. But with Bud Light, that's the piss I like.
Fair enough.
Yep. So I have regular Bud Light cans and then Bud Light Orange, which I don't know if you've tried it. It tastes like kind of like Bud Light Lime, but instead of lime, it's orange.
Okay, so I will correct myself. Bud Light Lime is okay. It tastes kind of like when you get a bottle of Corona and you squeeze a lime and pop it in, turn it upside down with your thumb over the hole. It tastes kind of like that, and that's not bad because it's sort of like a cerveza style.
Bud Light Orange kind of tastes like a combination of Bud Light and Shock Top, if you've ever had that.
Oh yeah, I know Shock Top. I like Shock Top because it's like Blue Moon, but usually cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Shock Top, but also it's cheaper than Shock Top. So, pretty good.
Fair enough. The part that I like about Shock Top, I don't like the orange flavor so much. Like the orange flavor is good, but the thing that I like about Shock Top is I like the fact that it's a thick wheat beer. I love
Yeah.
Hefeweizen. I love Hefeweizen. Pyramid's probably my favorite beer. I occasionally will buy a 12-pack of their apricot ale, which is strangely good. You wouldn't expect apricot flavored beer to be good, but it kind of mixes with the beer's muskiness, and it's good.
I think when everybody turns around 21 or 22, they start becoming like beer aficionados, basically trying different things and then saying what they like. I was a smartass at 21, 22 who's like, well, I'm just going to drink by myself and watch TV anyway. I might as well be classy about it. And I got really into wine. But then wine's more expensive than one would normally think, especially if you gained a taste for it like I did. So unfortunately, I'm still kind of like backpedaling and not knowing entirely what kind of beers are good. But if you sorry.
Go ahead.
If you ask me about wine, I can give you like fucking paragraph answer responses, but when it comes to beer, I'm like, I don't know, I like Bud Light.
The thing about wine is the price of the wine really has no effect on the quality of it. There's some wine that's just absolute garbage. Usually when I get wine, I'll usually get $3 Chuck at Trader Joe's. Used to be $2 Chuck, is Charles Shaw. But they call it $2 Chuck, and now it's $3 Chuck. They sell it for $2.99 a bottle, and they got several different flavors to choose from. Or I will go with a contemporary Car Bordeaux. Miss me with the Franzia stuff, but usually I'll get like a wine cube from Target or something like that.
Well, there's your problem. That's why you think all wine tastes the same, is when you buy it in the box.
You
asshole.
fucking
lunatic.
You fucking snob. You snob. Enjoy
Okay,
your corked wine.
Enjoy your corked wine. Yeah, the cork wood really makes it. Okay, so this one time, I'm in California. I'm in Roseburg with my brother and his wife, and they always seem to dress up nice anyway. My brother is like, he was in this phase where he tried to emulate Barney from How I Met Your Mother, just wearing like almost suits every day. So I'm wearing like a graphic t-shirt and shorts like I do. Except it was a pair of khaki shorts with a huge rip on one of the sides where it hit like a nail, and I didn't have enough money to replace it, so I ended up stitching it together with yarn. And I'm like, that's good enough. It's like green yarn just in an L shape stitched on one of the sides. I'm wearing like an Aquaman hat, right? And they're like, hey, Brian, we're going to go out to dinner. Want to join us? And I'm like, sure, because I'm already like drinking, and it's like, well, what am I going to do at your house without you guys? I'm not driving anywhere. So they end up taking me to this fancy as shit winery. And they're like glancing back at each other like, haha, he's gonna make a fool of himself. Because I'm already drunk, right? So we get to the winery and we sit down and we're like looking over the menus. Bartender comes up. She's like, I don't know, I'd say like a young 30s looking, very skinny, very fancy, nose in the air, prudish sort of woman.
She's a yuppie.
Yeah. And she's like, how can I help? You know, that sort of like tone of a wasp. And I'm like, well, what do you recommend? Because I've been looking over the menu for a second, and she came before I could like really make a decision. And she's like, what do I recommend? And I'm like, yes, because when it comes to like a Merlot, I try to have something that's 5 years old or older. With a Cabernet Sauvignon, they really only taste sweet within the first 3 years. So I'm looking at the dates on these, and none of the dates on the wine list are listed. In fact, instead of Cabernet or Merlot, you just see house red. So yes, what do you recommend? And she stops, and my brother and his wife both stop and stare at me, and like everybody's just kind of awkward. And again, I'm wearing like shorts that are stitched together with yarn. It's like I know a thing or two about wine, though. Just absolutely ridiculous situation. And
While you're busy working $10 an hour at a winery, I studied the bottle.
You can't find all of your answers in the bottom of a bottle, but god damn it, can you look at the ingredients list? So we ended up ordering food. My brother and his wife at the time, or possibly still now, I don't entirely keep track, were vegan, so they couldn't really order a whole hell of a lot, but I ended up getting just a grilled cheese sandwich and a salad for like $13, because of course it's just expensive as shit, right? So the grilled cheese sandwich was fucking to die for. It had truffles just shredded into the cheese. It used like a baked Asiago. Just everything about it was amazing. But here's the thing, right? You order a salad at a fancy restaurant, they bring it to you. I don't know if this is the same situation that you've grown accustomed with, but can you possibly eat a salad in a fancy manner?
No. And I'm not a huge fan of salads, but you can't eat them in a fancy manner because you just got leaves just hanging out of your mouth, and they're just covered, they're just soaked in either some sort of like ranchish dressing, or they're soaked in olive oil vinaigrette.
Yeah, I chose
And
a raspberry vinaigrette.
raspberry vinaigrette is my go-to for salad dressing. I cannot do cream-based sauces. I hate like fettuccine alfredo. I hate Caesar dressing. I hate all of that. But if I eat salad, usually I'll go for spinach leaves,
Mhm.
and I'll go for raspberry vinaigrette, and then maybe some kind of protein like a chopped chicken or something. Maybe some nuts and some cranberries.
It was a house salad, but with chopped nuts, and I asked for raspberry vinaigrette in replace of ranch. And
Good.
your opinion that there's no possible way to eat a salad in a fancy manner is the exact same position that my brother and his wife had. So when the food was brought out, and I'm like drinking the wine and actually checking the legs, as you do, even though I'm fucking just wearing an Aquaman graphic hat and looking like a fool.
You should dress nicer.
I should dress nicer, yes. But that's not really the point of this story. They bring out the food, and my brother looks at the salad and just kind of like, he's like, "There's no possible way." But then you've taken German classes,
Mhm.
so I'm sure you've probably had the same German teacher as I did. You know, you take your fork, you turn it underturn, you take the knife, and you slice, swap hands, then use the fork, just tiny bits folded over each other, and eat it that way. And my brother looks at me and he's like, you know, the entire reason that I brought you here was to make a fool of yourself, and you're actually doing everything correct, and it's kind of, it sucks. So, I think I spent like $50 on that meal. And
Damn.
then when it came, like, that's including tip and everything. When the receipt was down, I'm like, okay, cool. If you guys really want me to make a fool of myself, I'll do it. And I drew a Care Bear where the tip line was.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing.
And he's like, okay, we need to leave. I'm like, okay.
Do you want to know the secret to a good grilled cheese?
Yes.
Okay, so you use lots of butter.
Yeah.
You cook over a low heat for a long period of time, so that way the bread doesn't get burnt before the cheese melts. You use sourdough bread, bitter sourdough bread, and extra sharp cheddar cheese.
Okay.
And for a little bit of added flair, if you care to do, you sprinkle some Parmesan in the pan. each time before you set it down. So you get Parmesan crusted in the outside.
I think I've seen that, like a reverse grilled cheese is what they called it, but they used shredded aged cheddar.
Yep. And my wife likes using a panini press, but cheating.
That is absolutely cheating using a panini press.
It comes out pretty good in a panini press. I still prefer the grilled cheeses I make.
Yeah. Your audio is cutting out, and we've also been recording for 33 minutes and 37 seconds. So I think that's good.
Yeah, that's that's
think
good.
All in total, that means that we've been recording, or this podcast video is almost an hour long. So, final words? Just one.
Sphincter.
Sphincter. Pinot.
Pinot?
I wanted to say Pinot Gris, and then I'm like, that's 2 words, so Pinot. Alright, so check us out next week on our next podcast episode, unless it's like 2 weeks from now, I don't know.
Bye.
Bye, I love you.
Love you.
Thank you for listening to the calming sounds of the Tidepool Orchestra.